Hi Internet, it's me, Pan42 Tarot, but you can call me Pan. Welcome to this week's reading. This week we are doing a shadow self spread. We're gonna be exploring some things that like maybe you've been suppressing and trying to overcome them. I picked this one because the last collective checkup that I did, there was a lot of energy of change and like needing to get rid of old habits or old things and start new and fresh. So I just decided that to follow in that energy, to like help you guys along the path, we would do a shadow self reading, and we haven't done one in a minute. There's not a lot of cards in this particular spread, but it is a good one. So, and I'm just gonna plug something here, not because they're a sponsor or anything, but because I'm a nerd and I loved this game. So my current like altar at the moment with all my crystals and stuff, this was the setup. That's why there's so much wax everywhere on my candlesticks today. This was the setup for a game that I played with a friend of mine. It's called Dead Friend. Well, let's see if I can, oh wait, here. It's called Dead Friend, a game of necromancy. It was such a fun role-playing / storytelling game, and it really made me think of like shadow self and motivations that we have underneath the surface and all kinds of other things. Anyway, it was a great, really fun storytelling game for 2 people, which I haven't found a ton of those. So it's a really fun game. It's not super long. It's really fun to play. I would suggest you get this game, and it's by let's see if I can show you. Lucia Khan. I'm going to, accidentally put that really close to my candles. Anyway, this game is super fun. I had a shit ton of fun playing it. And, yeah, I would suggest if you're a nerd and you like role-playing games, you should buy it. And anyway, it was the inspiration for today's candle spread and everything. And I'm going to link down in the description where you can get the game. It's just a PDF, so you just print it out and it's super fun. Anyway, so, and oh, also, it's a game that involves tarot if you want. So it's super great as far as like our community of tarot nerds. So it intersects role-playing and tarot, and it's amazing. Anyway, and it's an indie game creator, so I love little indie games. Anyway, so the cards I'm bringing to shuffling now to pull you guys in are my dream art cards from the game Dreams. Often our shadow self speaks through our dreams and nightmares, because it is the subconscious version of ourselves. Shadow selves of the collective, would you please give me a couple cards to draw in who needs to hear things today? I see this one. I'm not sure whether we're going to do 3 or 4 readings today, but we'll see what pops up. Well, this one is yelling at me. See if I get one more. Ooh, that was too many, but we will take this top one. That one flew out of there. So we are doing 4 readings today, and I have some cards, but I also have some little items that I'm going to put on the cards for you guys, okay? So here we go. Let's see. Group number 1. This is your card. You have this sweet little boy with his sun stick and the moon on a curtain. The moon's kind of sleepy. And I'm going to give you guys the key. This is your item. It is a skeleton key. I don't remember where I got this, but it was in a collection of keys. And yeah, it's a really pretty old one. There you go. So that's group number 1. Group number 2, your card is, oh, this little troll man with a mushroom on his head. It's your card. Now I'm going to pick for you guys this dragon is your item. Let's see if it'll focus. Focus on the dragon. There we go. Here, there's his face. Got this little dragon. There, maybe you can see it better like this. There we go. This is your dragon. That's your item. So that's group number 2. Group number 3. Ooh, you have ballerina underwater. Beautiful card. And your item is going to be this spoon. It's a teaspoon. My grandma had a shit ton of spoons that she was gonna get rid of, these little teaspoons, and I was like, no, they're so pretty. So there you go, your teaspoon. That's group number 3. And group number 4, you have this really cool image of an eagle, I think, sailing over top of some stones. They look like Stonehenge, but they're not quite Stonehenge. It's cool and spooky and ooky. And your item, we have this cute little stein. Let me just hold up the stein instead of also the card. There you go. You guys have this awesome little stein. It's really cute. He's just a little guy, but he opens and everything. So that is group number 4. So these are the 4 groups today. I'm going to shuffle your cards off camera most likely and have a spread for you guys when you get back. So I'm going to leave the camera running for a little bit so you guys can pick out which one you are most drawn to. And I will see all of you guys at your readings, all right? Okay. Bye, Internet. Hi, group number 1s. Welcome to this week's reading. This week we are doing some shadow work. We're asking our shadow self a couple of questions, just 4. And this is the card that pulled you guys in. He's a cute little boy, and he's got a little sun. And this is a curtain with a moon and some stars. It's really cute. And then this is the item that you had, which is a skeleton key. Focus. There. It's a skeleton key. It's really pretty. Anyway, that's the energy that pulled you in. So for this week's reading, I am using my first tarot deck, which is one of my favorites, the Hush Tarot. And I'm also using a new deck that I have that is the Dream Reading Cards Oracle deck. I won't be reading to you out of the book for this, these oracles, because they're much easier used in this term as like without me reading the oracles. Anyway, so I'm using them as clues for what your shadow self wants to say in this reading. All right. So also there's a lot of words in the book, so it would take me forever, and I just don't want to. So we're going on what the card actually says as the clues. Anyway, so this is our reading. There's 4 questions. We have the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? The why. Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this? The how. How to overcome this. And lastly, the where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. Okay? I will say them again, I'm sure. So we're going to start with question number 1. This is the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? So the cards we have for you in the what are the King of Cups, and your dream oracle, I love the backs of these cards, is Transformation, which is card number 28 in this deck. Interesting. So, put Hush up here and Oracle down here. I'll read you what the card says. It says, Transformation, commit to acting on new ideas and longings. Take a leap of faith. Begin again. So, what have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? Okay, what I'm seeing here is that there's a matter of the heart that needs some transforming, whether that is you need to let somebody go, or you need to let something go, or you need to, you know what I really think it is? I think that your shadow self is trying to say it is time for you to start putting your needs first. You're somebody who, with this little boy, this sweet little boy here and the skeleton key, you've locked away your heart because you're somebody who feels you need to take care of everybody else first. The King of Cups is a very masculine and feminine energy because it is the master masculine in the feminine suit of cups. So there is this motherly like energy to you where you took care of everybody else's emotions and inner children before you ever took care of yourself. And there's a need to stop ignoring your feelings. Stop ignoring how things make you feel. Like maybe your initial reaction to whatever is happening right now is to look at how everybody else is feeling in the situation and try to act based on what would help everybody else first. And your shadow self is saying, fuck that. We need to commit to acting on new ideas and longings. We need to listen to our feelings. It's time to nurture our inner child. It's time to see what is beneath our surface and take care of that. Because if we are not whole in ourselves, we can't care for others. Now, I'm not saying whole as in like you're a broken person or whatever. Like broken people can still take care of other people. I just mean that when your cup is full, you are better able to take care of others. I I'm also seeing that, like, this is a moment of pulling yourself out of darkness into light. It's a big moment of transformation, of setting boundaries around certain things or people to protect yourself. And it's really it's a time of bringing out your heart and unlocking all the padlocks you have around it to begin caring for it. I saw a short video on, I think it was YouTube or something, the other day that was done by a psychiatrist, and she was talking about trauma and how trauma is like a wound on your skin that you try to cover up and heal and hide from people. It's something you don't share with people. And so you bandage it all up and you go about your day, but all throughout your day, somebody is inevitably going to brush against it, and that will trigger you because it hurts, right? When a wound is brushed up against, if it's not healed, it hurts. So the point of therapy and psychiatry and that kind of thing is to unwrap the wound and let it air out and begin to look at it and see what's really wrong and begin to let it heal so that it can get a scar over it. It never goes away, but it gets a scar over it so that when somebody does brush up against it next time, it doesn't injure you as horribly, or you know how to deal with that hurt. It's a transformation of how you take care of yourself. I hope all of that made some sense to you. So the next card we have for you guys is the why. Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this? So the cards you have here in the why are the Five of Swords and card number 22, Colors and Numbers. 22, Colors and Numbers. It also has a 30 here in the card. This card, Colors and Numbers, says, what feelings are you struggling to acknowledge? How do you see the world around you? What's not adding up in your life? Ooh, wow, that is something. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is the Five of Swords is all about, it's about conflict, but it's about the taking of conflict with you, kind of. Oftentimes, it's the gossip card, or it's the friends are hurting you behind your back kind of card. So why are you suppressing this? You're suppressing your needs because at some point, your feelings, when you brought your feelings up to the surface, they were only met with negative reaction. Like maybe you had a parent that didn't validate your emotions and needs and told you to be quiet and calm down and like sent you to your room to be alone with big hard feelings. Or maybe you have had a dear friend that when you came to them with something that was very hard for you, they turned it around and made this issue about themselves instead of comforting and supporting you. And so you immediately switched into helping and protecting that person and then bottled your feelings all back up. So why are you suppressing this need to reveal your emotions and take charge of your emotions and be your own champion? Well, it's because in the past you've been hurt by expressing yourself, by showing your emotions, by by ever speaking them. You've been hurt by that. So you've taken all of those feelings and bottled them up and hidden them away, and they're just there for you now, and it's becoming an issue of, it's weighing you down. It's something that is on your back, weighing you down and keeping you in the dark, really. But it's time to pull away the curtain and reveal the sun and let the light in, and let's look at the wounds, okay? It's a tough process. I would really suggest that you do this kind of process of revealing wounds and going through and attempting to heal them and understand them with a therapist of some kind or professional counselor or something like that, because this is a hard process and you can do it on your own, but it's better done with a person, either somebody you trust or a professional. And I would suggest a professional because they're, taught how to do that. And they won't make it about them. That's kind of the whole point. So yeah, that's your why. Now we're moving on to card 3. This is the how to overcome this. And you actually got 2 oracle cards in this spot. How to overcome this. You got the card, the 9 of Pentacles. This is the Lady of the Manor card. I really like this one. Focus. There you go. And your 2 oracle cards are Prosperity, which is 35, and Focus, which is 25. Ooh, two fives. That's very interesting. So these 2 cards say, prosperity. Ooh, sorry. Here, let me focus that. There you go. Prosperity. Give and expect the universe to give back to you. Believe that you are prosperous already. Have gratitude for everything in your life. And 25, Focus, says, for enlightenment, stay in the moment. Chop wood, carry water, avoid distraction, meditate, bring unresolved issues into view. So, yeah, these actually both kind of say the exact same thing, which is really interesting and cool. So the Lady of the Manor, the 9 of Pentacles, is all about abundance and prosperity, but also focus, determination, and hard work. Because she didn't become this rich, opulent lady who is a master of birds without some work. She's almost always has a falcon on her glove. And she's clearly in charge of that situation. So, prosperity and focus. How to overcome this? Yeah, this is a time to really give your time to this healing. Give your time and focus to the process. Don't shy away from it. And begin to build yourself a tool bag. My therapist calls it a tool bag, but it's a bunch of exercises or things, just little things that help you in your process of healing. Like one of the things that I do to remind myself that the world isn't awful all of the time is whenever something very good happens, or even just minorly good, like I get a parking spot on my street, I say thank you out loud, because I always forget. I have ADHD, so I always forget to write down in a journal like the good things that happened to me today. So just taking the moment to say thank you out loud is super helpful. Because like the more I say thank you, the better my mood gets, honestly. But it's this not constant work, but it's a dedication to the work. It's a dedication to the process. I'm also seeing like all of these cards have a really similar color palette. And I don't really know what that means yet, but it's interesting. These cards are made to have a similar color palette, but these ones don't. They have more color in the rest of them. So anyway, yeah, they're all kind of yellow. So I'm seeing that this process is going to be very rewarding for you, because yellow is always associated with the sun, at least in tarot, and or the sacred flame of life. And this connecting and mastering your own emotions and things like that, it is bringing back the life into your being. It's helping you become less of a caregiver, less of like less living for other people and more starting to live for you, which is really important to have a fulfilling life. I hope that made sense. Okay, so the last group we have here is the where. Where to pull strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. And we have for you guys, we have, the Queen of Wands. Ooh, I love the Queen of Wands. Dope ass bitch. Queen of Wands, and then we also have Naked, which is 15 in this deck. Okay, let me read what Naked says. It says, do you feel exposed or outed in some way? What is making you feel inadequate, guilty, ashamed, or vulnerable? What do you need to release? Okay. So, where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this? I think there is a person, there's somebody who is going to be that powerful presence that enables you to get off your chest whatever is residing there. Guilt, shame, whatever it is. What do you need to release? There's somebody in your life who is going to be that person who helps you release things. If it's not a person, it's a practice. Because the Queen of Wands is a lot of the times known as the Queen of Witchcraft, it could be a practice. It could be getting into meditation or tarot cards or journaling or yoga or some kind of practice that enables you to begin to release and heal the wounds that you have within your heart, and understand and process your emotions as opposed to hiding them and ignoring them. I also think there's a bit of of a message of sex here. Because the Queen of Wands is always so sexy, like she's like the hot one. And you have the Naked card. I feel like there's a message of there's strength in intimacy. There is strength in finding those you can be intimate with, whether it's sexually or just sharing deep, intimate thoughts and conversations with someone. There is strength and power and vulnerability in that. And it's a huge part of recovery to be able to speak openly about things that have been harming you. To begin to set boundaries, to understand what boundaries are, to have somebody who can be intimately familiar with all of the things that are going on in your heart and your mind, that could be super invaluable to you. Like, really help boost your transformation and help you jump forward as you start to reveal the sun. I'm also seeing how this card is the only blue one among the tarot cards we pulled today. And I'm thinking that there's somebody you can cry with. And finding that person is going to be important to your healing journey. Somebody you can cry with or in front of. Maybe you're somebody who has not really cried in front of anybody ever, because you have been that strong rock for so many people that it's really hard for you to like express your emotions so greatly. And there's somebody or something that allows you to do that, and it is a good thing to invest in. Okay, so that's the spread. Now, the last thing I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to shuffle and pull you a Kunyan Oracle card. And these ones I will actually read because they have their meanings on the back of the cards. But I feel like after some shadow work, it's good to have some blessings and light. So we're going to use Kunyan because she is unbelievably positive. She is a very sweet goddess. All right, so Kunyan, could you give us one card, one last parting message for our group number ones about their journey to release their emotions and expose their heart and begin to heal the wounds of their past? This one, that's two. Can I have one card, please? She doesn't want to pop today, so we're getting you this card. So this is your card. And it is the Sisters of the Star Blossom. The Sisters of the Star Blossoms. Whilst we each take our own journey to divine bliss and truth, we have soul friends that love us unconditionally and wish to help us find our way home with the least suffering and the greatest joy. When we allow ourselves to be helped, we help others too. It is a spiral of support and love that wishes to connect more with you now. Aw, that's so sweet. And again, more sun energy here. Well, star, but our sun is a star. Okay, that's all I'm seeing for you guys, group number one. Thank you so much for doing this reading with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I hope you guys have a blessed everything. Thank you so much for being here. All right, that's all. This was Pan. Bye, guys. Hi, group number two. Welcome to this week's reading. This week, we are talking to our shadow selves. We're asking them 4 questions. And this is the card that brought you in. He's a cute little troll man with a mushroom on his head. He's a little grumpy, a little sad, but he's pretty cute. Kind of reminds me of Shrek. And you have this really pretty dragon. And those are the energies that brought you in. Okay, we're going to put them over here. And let's get started. So, this reading has 4 questions. I'm using the Hush Tarot as well as my new deck, which is the Dream Reading Cards deck. They're just going to give me clues as to what your shadow self is trying to say. So I'm not going to read them out of the book because they're very long. So, our first question, I'm just going to tell you what the questions are and then I will go through all of them, okay? Don't worry, I will repeat them multiple times. So here we go. This first section is the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? 2, why? Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this? 3, the how. How to overcome this. How to overcome this. Number 4 is the where. Where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? And in this position, you have your tarot card, which is the 2 of Swords. Sorry if you can hear my cat sneezing in the background. This allergy season is killing him. And your oracle card is Awakening, which in this deck is card number 47. 47. Okay. Oh, I'll read you what the card says. For card 47, Awakening. Oh, here, let me focus that. There you go. 47, Awakening. Your consciousness is awakening. You are becoming attuned with the messages of nature and spirit. Trust your psychic abilities. Ooh. Okay, so what am I seeing here? I'm seeing the 2 of Swords is often about having a struggle within yourself, or a choice that you have to make that you're making blindly or you're unsure of. It really feels to me like procrastination. Like there's something that you have a choice about, like to go one way or the other, and you're just not making the choice. Is what it feels like. It feels like the universe is trying to give you all these signs and symbols, and they're trying to get you to trust your psychic abilities and your intuition. And you're still kind of sitting there with the 2 swords being like, but I don't know what to do, or doubting the decisions you have made, or doubting this decision you want to make because you don't trust yourself. So yeah, it feels like a decision. It feels like something you've been putting off, like a procrastination. You're just not sure. Just don't want to make a choice. You're almost like this troll, like sitting there letting mushrooms grow on your head, because you're like, if I don't make the choice, I don't have to give up something, or I don't have to lose something. But also, if you don't make the choice, you can't gain the thing the universe is trying to give you either. Hope that makes sense for you. I'm going to change my battery real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, the second question is the why. Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this? And you guys got 2 oracle cards in this little group. So your tarot card is the 3 of Swords. And your oracle cards are Wisdom, which is 26, and Body, which is 5. I'm going to read you what these cards say. They say, one second, let me focus. Go. Man, 2 and 3 of Swords right next to each other. Okay, so Body says, what parts of you do you need to look at more closely? What's functioning and not functioning in these areas of your life? How do you feel about your body? And then number 26, Wisdom. Experience and failure lead to wisdom. Apply wisdom to the present situation. Learn from the spirit world and its collective knowledge. Ooh, okay. So what I'm seeing here is the why. you've been putting something off, the why you've been putting off this decision is there's some kind of heartbreak involved. Either you're letting something go or you're leaving something behind. I'm not sure what, but it feels like every time you try to make this decision or every time you like think about this decision, your body reacts. Like you have a panic attack, you freak out, you start crying. Like some kind of physical reaction happens that is telling you that this isn't, that you don't want to make this choice, that it's a dangerous choice to make. There is something in here that your guides are trying to say about mind over body a little bit here, of the body is reacting to past trauma in this area, whether it's like I had an audition once and somebody told me that I was shit, and so now I never want to go into an audition room again because I just panic and cry because somebody once told me I'm shit. And there is a message here of that heartbreak is keeping you from something that is going to that's going to change your life, really. Something that is worth putting everything out on the line again. And that holding on to the words of somebody from the past or from a moment from the past where you lost everything because of a decision that you made, like holding on to that hurt is stopping you. Giving into your bodily impulses is stopping you in your tracks and not enabling you to see failure as experience. Like that failure was an experience. It taught you something. Maybe you practiced more after that audition and got better. Or maybe you more carefully chose who you spend your time with after some friend totally broke your heart. Or I don't know. Whatever it is, like this, there's this need to reconnect with your body and become the master of it once more, and not let your emotions control your body like they have been. And instead, maybe meditation would be a good tool for you, or yoga or something like that. Something to get you into your body and get your mind in control of your body. This is a hard process. I'm not saying it is easy in any sense of the word. Panic attacks are real. Anxiety is real. Depression is real. Like, these are things that you can't just fix with like simple, like, oh, I'm better now mindset. Like, that's not how it works at all. Like, your mind has to be right for your body to start healing from the reactions it is having. But there is something to be said of not holding yourself back from a decision because you're afraid of the results, or because you're afraid of the hurt that could ensue from the result. But again, like I said with this card, if you don't make the decision, the good things that could come of this, that will come of this, that will likely outweigh the bad, can't come either. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And I'm not saying that, like, if you don't make the decision, your guides won't try and make this thing come into your life anyway, the good things into your life anyway. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a one and done situation. What I'm saying is that it's going to be a harder, longer process. Yeah. So Now, the how. How to overcome this. How to overcome this procrastination, this avoidance of a choice. You guys have the justice card. Sorry I had to cover up. She was pretty naked. And YouTube frowns on nakedness for some reason. Anyway, you have the justice card. And you also have people. Card number 11. People. People. Where, when are you feeling discouraged or undervalued? Do you want to be a part of the in crowd? What ideal qualities would you like to adopt? Ooh. Interesting message here. So, how to overcome this? One, people, obviously, like, get advice from good friends, get support, understanding, like, get your best Judies in to hype you up to make the decision. Get your friends together, have a discussion. And like, justice is all about scales and balance and what is good and what is bad. So I think you need some people in your life to show you the pros and cons, really analyze things, and not from a place of emotion, but instead from a place of clear-headedness and intuition. So really think through the physical, like this physical reaction you're having whenever you try to make a decision. Really think through why this is happening. Try to understand and try to heal that reaction, and then see the problem for what it really is. Like, don't over exaggerate it. Like, this is a thing I'm personally working on, because I have a tendency to either catastrophize or fantasize about what would happen in a situation, and normally the catastrophe never happens, and it's the worst possible thing that could ever happen, and never happens. And then also, like, the fantasy end is like the most amazing possibility that could ever happen, and that doesn't happen either, and then I'm really disappointed. So, like, there needs to be a thought to the middle possibility, like the boring possibility, the middle path, the one that's most likely to happen. Sometimes we forget about that when we let our minds run away with ourselves, that the most likely thing to actually happen is going to be the boring one. Like a dragon's not going to swoop down from the sky and destroy everything you own, most likely. Also, neither is a dragon going to come down from the sky, swoop you up, and take you to the richest nation of your dreams, and you'll be the princess forever. Like, those are not really likely to happen, but you could get a great job that you like, or you could meet a cool person if you put in a little bit of effort, or you could just have a nice day at work. Like, so yeah, write out pros and cons with people you trust. Discuss the possibilities with people you trust. Kind of maybe air out your catastrophizing and your fantasizing with somebody you trust, so that you can be like, so that that person can really look at it and be like, this is not likely. Because to us, our thoughts are really, really possible, because that's the reality we're living in, right? But people outside of us can see more clearly and understand that this is just a fantasy, or this is just a catastrophizing, than we can, because they're not living in our heads and experiencing the horrible reality that we can see before us. You know what I mean? You need a steadying presence to help you overcome this choice, to dust the mushroom off your head and show you the path. Okay? So this last bit here is where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. And your cards are the Two of Cups and Death. Ooh, card 2, Death. I'll read you what Death says. It says, 2, Death. What parts of you, your habits, need changing? How do you feel disconnected within yourself and with others? Have you been neglecting your physical or emotional health? Yep. So that's very poignant right there. And again, it's another message of people. The Two of Cups is about working with somebody in partnership. This is a very morbid partnership because it's two harpies feasting on the flesh of a bunch of dead people. But I like this deck a lot. Anyway, it's a partnership. Two of Cups is about partnership and a true working partnership. This is, you will find the strength in somebody who is your equal, some kind of partnership that enables you to really discuss the pros and cons, really understand the ins and outs of this problem, but also somebody who will enable you to analyze why this decision is so hard for you, why it is so difficult to let this thing go or to go towards this new thing. It is a need to, it's also somebody who will check you, somebody who will be like, are you eating? Because sometimes all you need is a glass of water, you guys. Sometimes the day is the worst day and then you drink some water and you're like, oh, life isn't awful anymore. So it could really be as simple as that. And then also like emotional health, like this bodily reaction that I felt and heard about in this section, like your emotional health has a lot to do with how your body reacts to something. If you are not in a safe place, if you do not feel safe, like you're going to react volcanically, as opposed to being able to pause and take a second and breathe in and out and calm your emotions and see what's real and what's not real. And there is somebody or some step you could take in your life to meet someone who, or somebody who's already there to help you through this process. They are going to be a rock, they're going to be a partner, they're going to be somebody who enables you to really analyze. Honestly, this sounds like a therapist. Like somebody who has their head above what you're living in and can show you what is true. Somebody who can ask you the right questions so that your brain realizes, oh, that's just a fantasy I'm having. That is just a catastrophe that I am imagining. This is not a true thing that is happening right now. Okay? Hope that all makes sense. So that's your reading, but the last thing I'm going to do for you guys is pull one oracle from the Kunyin Oracle deck, because I feel like after some shadow work, we need some light and positivity, and Kunyin is so very positive. She's a very sweet lady. So, Kunyin, could you give us one card about this group's journey to make a decision, to put away their procrastination and really find their path and their voice? Just one card, please. All right, she doesn't want to pop today, so here we go. Ooh, it's a very pretty card. It is the Tao. The Tao. I'm going to read it to you. The Tao is always flowing, always nourishing life into creation, always presenting steps and solutions, and always reminding us that we are perfect in this moment. You are being guided to relax and allow life to flow. Feel the joy of the release and the wonder of how easy life can be when you let go of fear and control. That is a very beautiful message. I think very poignant to you guys. So, thank you, group number 2. I hope this message resonated. I hope it helped. Please like, comment, and subscribe on all my stuff. I have an Instagram you can follow. And I think that's it. I hope you guys have a blessed everything. I will see you guys on the next video. This was Pan. Bye, you guys. Hi, group number 3s. Welcome to this week's reading. This week we are doing a shadow self reading. We're asking 4 questions, and we're just gonna see what kind of stuff our shadow self brings up. Our shadow self is the part of us that's kind of subconscious, our fears, our nightmares, the things we're trying to hide from ourselves is our shadow self. So we're going to bring some of that to the forefront today. This is the card that drew you guys in. It is a beautiful undersea scape with a ballerina. It's lovely. And this is the item that brought you in. It is a pretty spoon. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to put those over here. And these cards are the questions. There's 4 questions today. I'm using my Hush Tarot deck as well as a new deck that I have called the Dream Reading Cards. I'm not going to read these out of the book because they're very long, and they're really just going to be helpful clues for me to figure out what your shadow self is trying to tell me through the questions in the cards. So, the first question is, don't worry, I'm going to repeat all of these multiple times. So, the first question is the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? 2, the why. Why have you been suppressing or ignoring this? 3, the how. How to overcome this. And 4, the where. Where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. Okay? So, we're going to start with number 1. Number 1 is the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest self? And we have, for you guys, the Knight of Wands and Chaste. 17. Card 17, Chaste. I'm going to read you what it says. And it's C-H-A-S-E-D, not like chaste, like celibate. Okay. It says 17, Chaste. What are you running away from? What is making you feel overwhelmed? What are you afraid of or unwilling to face? Yeah. So, yeah. Wow. Okay, so all of these cards are seeming to talk about some kind of pressure. Like this is an underwater scene, some kind of deep underwater pressure, or yeah, something that you are running away from. There is something that you are passionate about, that you are deciding not to face, that you don't want to look at. So what immediately came to my mind is I've been working on a musical tarot deck. So it's a list of songs that I feel the energy of that song coincides with the meaning of the card. And my Knight of Wands song is, I think it's called Start a Riot. And it's from the movie, The Spider-Verse. And it's Spider-Man. Basically the Knight of Wands is Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is this joyous, wonderful presence, but he's also somebody who has experienced a lot of trauma, and part of his journey is he's running away from this trauma, and he's using his good works to try and make up for his uncle's death. He's doing it in a joyous, crazy way, but it's still kind of running from this guilt that he's holding, and he's almost always holding that guilt of his uncle's death. And he doesn't, he does sometimes in the comic book face this guilt and this fear of not living up to his Uncle Ben's expectation of with great power comes great responsibility. But that's what I'm feeling here, is that energy of guilt and fear and running, just running from something. Because you're afraid you can't live up to expectation. You're afraid that you will fail. You're afraid that you won't succeed how you want to succeed. I'm also hearing, though, this beautiful message of Spider-Man is the hero that always gets up. It doesn't matter how hard he's gotten hit, or how sad he is, or how hard the road is. He's always friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's always cracking jokes. He's always getting up and fighting for the smaller person. And I think you have that amazing ability to perform under pressure. You have that ability. That's something that's innate in you. You are somebody who takes the good, it takes the bad and makes it beautiful. And in this moment, whatever you're facing, you're afraid that you're not going to be able to do that. That you're afraid that this moment will destroy you, so you're running from it. So, now we're going to move on to the why. Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this fear? Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this fear? We have, wow, the Three of Swords. This actually came out in group number 2 as well. And we have 27, card 27, Flow. And I'm going to read you what the card says. It says, Flow. You can't control life's events. You can only control how you deal with them. It's easier to go with the flow when life challenges you. Emotions can overflow unless you release them. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, so the reason why you're running away from this fear instead of facing it, the reason you're running from this fear, from this confrontation, from this battle, whatever it is because one, you've been hurt before. It hurts. Whatever you're facing, it hurts. You don't want to face it because you know it's gonna hurt. You know it hurts. You don't want to unwrap that wound and look at it. It's something that hurts. It's something you can't control as well. And that's part of the fear here, is that if you turn around and face whatever it is, you're afraid that you won't have control of the situation anymore. At least when you're running from it, you can control what is happening. But if you give into the flow and face this fear, you're afraid you're going to be swept away and you won't ever find your feet again. But what you don't realize is that by bottling up all this fear and sadness and emotion and using it to fuel your running, you're not actually releasing any of it. You're just making a tidal wave within yourself that is eventually going to burst forth. And probably not in a great way. You'll probably end up hurting somebody you care about on accident. So facing this fear, facing this hurt, unwrapping it, looking at it, analyzing it, understanding where it comes from and why it's there, and facing it head on, that is gonna be really hard, but it's also going to finally start a healing process, start a transformational journey, and you'll be able to finally release some of the pressure that you've been under. Okay, the next card is the how. How to overcome this. How are we going to overcome this fear that we're facing? We have the Two of Cups. Wow, you guys might want to look at group number 2 as well. If you're drawn to, don't feel like you have to. And you have 51, healing. Okay, so let me read you what this card says. It says 51, healing. Healing past wounds with forgiveness and awareness. By healing yourself, you can become a healing force to others. Physical healing can happen once your wounds have been confronted. Wow, that's like exactly what I just said. Yeah, how do we overcome this? We start the healing process. We face it. We look at it. You have to confront the wounds before you can move forward. And it shouldn't be done alone. This card is telling us it should not be done alone. This is a process to be done with someone, a trusted friend, a therapist, honestly, would be my suggestion. Yeah, this is a tough process of facing something deeply rooted in you, almost a part of who you are, and that's a tough road to head down, but it's an important one because it lets you understand yourself and why you act how you do in certain situations, and enables you to, through understanding yourself, take care of yourself better and be able to heal yourself, and in doing so heal the relationships around you and a bunch of other stuff. It's a thing. It's a hard, stupid process and I hate it, but also, like, I would not be where I am today if I did not go through this process. I am still going through it, but if I did not go through this process, I would not be who I am today. And you are clearly a powerful, beautiful person. You've been dancing underwater this whole time. But it's time to release that pressure on yourself. to stop running, to confront. And to do it with somebody. Somebody. How to overcome this with people that you trust. Safe, true people in your life. Don't bring this to your friend that always makes everything about them. This is why a therapist would be super helpful, or a counselor, or a psychiatrist, somebody who is professionally trained to keep themselves out of it and help you analyze yourself. So the last little bunch here is the where. Where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. And the cards we have here are the Page of Cups and Empowerment, card 43. Empowerment. Let me read you what it says. 43, empowerment. Believe in your own power to create change and control your life. Be empowered by becoming an example to others. Use your past experiences to make you stronger. Wow, that's like so great, you guys. That's like exactly what I was saying about like Spider-Man and his whole journey and like, oh, okay. So I know that's a really nerdy reference to bring out for this, but it still stands. To be able to be the superhero that Spider-Man is, he does have to believe that he has the power. He has the ability to change the world around him by using his superpowers. If he hadn't embraced that idea that he had great power, if he just thought, this is like a dumb thing I can do now, like, and he sold himself short, he wouldn't be the hero. He wouldn't be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He wouldn't be the one that saves everybody from the bad guys and constantly gets up and is there for the local neighborhood people. So the first step in stopping running and facing your fear is that you are more powerful than your fear. That you are more powerful than your past. That you deserve a future where you're not running from who you are or where you've been, but you are content in who you have become. And where are you going to get this strength from? The Page of Cups is the page of emotions. This page often represents the inner child, the part of yourself that has always been innocent, always been hopeful, always been there and playful and joyful, and maybe this inner child got hurt along the way, and the way in which you will find the strength to confront this fear is to also bring in your inner child, bring out your inner child, heal that inner child, speak with this part of you that's silly and beautiful and dancing underwater, cracking stupid dad jokes while you're getting punched in the face over and over again by whatever bad guy you're facing this week. Connecting with that voice, connecting with that inner child, and giving them space to help you see the beauty around you, even in the darkness, even in the fear. That is where you will find the power to come through this process of confronting your deep, dark fears and confronting your past and beginning to heal from it. Whew. Sorry, I got a little choked up on that one. This is a bunch of stuff that like I've worked through, so I feel all of this and I feel it for you guys. But I do believe that you guys are powerful individuals, and as soon as you embrace that power and understand that you are more powerful than your fears, you're going to shine. So, the last thing I'm going to do for you guys is I have my Kuan-Yin Oracle, and we're just going to pull one last message from Kuan-Yin, because after some shadow work this deep, we're going to need some light and hope and positivity. So we're going to use Kuan-Yin. She is a beautiful deck full of positivity. So let's see what message Kuan-Yin has for you guys. Kuan-Yin, could you please give me one card for my pile number 3s to encourage them on their journey to face their fears, to confront their past and understand the wounds that they have. Ooh, that is too many. But we will take this one because that's the one that popped out on top. So, we have the Orchid Priestess of Destiny. Ooh, the Orchid Princess of Destiny. I'm going to read it to you guys. Priestess, not princess. Orchid Priestess of Destiny. The Orchid Priestess of your highest spiritual destiny calls to you now. She inspires you to discover and express your purpose. You are encouraged to live into your potential with all its uniqueness and beauty. Her sweet flute, playing deep in your heart, blossoms of orchid and chrysanthemums falling from her feet. She stirs your heart to quest for your true soul passion. That's beautiful. I love that. Well, this is all I'm seeing for you guys. I hope this reading helped. I hope for all of the love and joy and healing on this crazy journey you're on. And please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps. And I hope you guys have a blessed everything. Thank you so much for coming and listening to this reading. I will see you next time. This was Pan. Bye, guys. Hi, group number 4s. Welcome to this week's reading. This week, we are talking to our shadow self and asking it 4 questions. Our shadow self is kind of the part of ourselves that we keep hidden, that normally comes out in our dreams and our nightmares. So, yeah. So, this is the card that drew you in today. It is an eagle flying over what looks like the, what's it called? Stonehenge. But it's not Stonehenge because there's not the same amount of stones, but it's close. And then the item is this guy. He's a little stein. A little gem on top. I think it's just glass, but it's cute. It opens and closes. Anyway, that's what pulled you in today. We're going to put those over here to just be energy for me to draw on. So today, we have 4 questions for our shadow self. I will go through the questions. We are using the Hush Tarot as well as a new deck that I have called the Dream Reading Cards. I'm not going to be reading them out of the book because there's lots of words in that book and I just don't have the time. So, also, it's been working out really well as just clues from your shadow selves to tell me what the meaning of the tarot, what direction I should go with the meaning of the tarot. So, anyway, the questions are, don't worry, I'm going to repeat them multiple times throughout this reading. The questions are, 1, the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? 2, the why. Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this? 3, how. How to overcome this. And 4, the where. Where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. So, we are going to start with number 1, a very good place to start. And this is the what. What have you been ignoring or suppressing in opposition to your highest good? And the cards that you guys have are the 6 of Pentacles and, card 47, Awakening. I'll read you what it says in a second. Also, this card popped up in group number 2. So, I don't know if you guys were drawn to group number 2, but if you were, maybe you should listen to that one too. Okay, so, card 47, Awakening. It says, your consciousness is awakening. You are becoming attuned with the messages of spirit and nature. Trust your psychic abilities. And the 6 of Pentacles is the generosity card. At least that's what I always have been taught about it. But this particular one has a bit of a dark side. It's a bit more, like, it strikes me more of like tithe. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but in the Christian or Jewish tradition, tithe is what you give the church or God out of your abundance. So, and I always saw it as a bit more sinister just because it's an obligatory thing in those religions. Some do it out of generosity and some do it out of obligation. So it has like a double-edgedness to it. Some are doing it out of their genuine love for God, and other people are just doing it to get the clout of doing it, if that makes sense. So there is a message here of what have you been ignoring or suppressing? There's a message here that you've been suppressing your spiritual power. You've been kind of going through the motions of your spirituality without investing in it, if that makes sense. You're saying the words but not meaning them, if that makes sense. If you're a religious person, this would probably make a lot of sense to you. A lot of religions have the trope of the person who professes belief but doesn't actually follow any of the practices of the religion, making them a non-believer, not true follower of whatever religion we're talking about. If you're not religious, this is the energy of you have some sort of talent or skill that you're just putting half of your effort into. As Ron Swanson says, you're putting half your ass into it. Never half-ass something, always whole-ass everything, as Ron Swanson says. So there's this message here of you are a powerful person in some way, and you're being stingy with that power, whether it's spiritual or religious or maybe just intuition, or this card really talks about psychic ability. So maybe you're being stingy with your psychic abilities, your exploration of the inner spiritual self. this dreamscape card really is speaking to me about ancestry and like the tradition of religion and the tradition of spiritual practice. Maybe you have a tradition in your life that you are following, but you don't really know why you do it or why it is a part of your life. So you are just kind of doing it without any belief or knowledge about it, which makes it add not much to your life when it could be adding a lot more. Or here's another interpretation of what this could be talking about. Since we're talking about ignoring or suppressing, this could be talking about maybe you were somebody who had a religious practice and this religious practice harmed you in some way, whether it was the leadership, which is often the case, or whether it was just this practice didn't jive with you. So instead of trying to find something new that did jive with you, you just shut that part of yourself off and decided that you didn't need any spirituality, you just needed logic, or you just needed practicality, and that would help you through, and you don't need any wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. You just want the practice, the practicality of life. And that walking away from practice might have been beneficial to you at the time that you did it to protect yourself. But now you're in a safe place with safe people. It might be time to reconnect with that spiritual part of your being, to more fully develop yourself, to more fully understand yourself, to give yourself some more depth and purpose. At least that's what I'm seeing. There could be so many interpretations of this. So anyway, the next two cards are the why. Why have you been ignoring or suppressing this? Why have you been ignoring or suppressing your spiritual power? We have the Ace of Swords and weather, natural events. I will read you what that card says. It is card number 9. And it says, weather, natural events. What is urgent in your life? What is making you feel overwhelmed and is out of your control? Are you worried about how you will survive a major change? Ooh, okay. So why have you been suppressing this? I feel like there might have been some trauma related to this spiritual power that you have, this practice you used to have that maybe you've walked away from. It feels like there was some trauma, some stuff out of your control that happened in the time that you were practicing, and it made you walk away from this so that you would survive. But now, again, you're in a safe place with safe people. You're starting to heal your old wounds. And a new thought has popped up. A new way of approaching practice. Whether it's witchcraft, or maybe it's a different way of study, or maybe it's a new divination tool, or maybe it's a new religion altogether that's suddenly speaking to you out of nowhere. And it scares you because this thing that happened in the past that was out of your control, that made you feel overwhelmed, had an impact. And you don't want to lose yourself to whatever spiritual thing is calling out to you. You've seen, perhaps you're somebody who has seen other people go down the path of spirituality or religion, and they just are Their whole personality becomes that. And you're afraid that that will happen to you. And you don't want that to happen to you. You want to remain yourself. And yet something new, some new thought, some new idea is really appealing to you. And it's changing your perspective on whatever spiritual issue this is. Okay, so the next cards we have are how to overcome this. How are we going to overcome this spiritual block? We have here the Three of Swords. Wow, this card has come out in almost every single reading today. We have the Three of Swords, and we also have 21, communication, as well as 28, transformation. Yes. Okay, I'm going to read you these two cards, and then I'm going to talk about them. Okay, so we have communication, card 21. What are you having difficulty communicating? Do you feel emotionally disconnected? What is not working smoothly in your life? And then we have 28, transformation. Commit to acting on new ideas and longings. Take a leap of faith. Begin again. Yes. So, how to overcome this difficulty? Well, I think these two cards really said it all, but I'm also going to say that one of the readings of the Three of Swords that I've really come to love is the reverse of the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is about heartache and being hurt and betrayed and stabbed through the heart by somebody, right? And it seems like there was an experience in your past that turned you away from your spiritual being, from your spiritual power. In reverse, like the Rider-Waite Tarot, the image is of a heart with swords piercing through it from the top. But in reverse, it looks like those swords could just fall out. So I think how you overcome this is you look at the hurt that has happened in the past, and you begin to pull the swords out that you've been keeping in your heart. You pull those grudges out. You pull out the points you have against using spirituality as a tool. You pull them out one at a time so that the heart can actually heal. Look at whatever it is that turned you off to spiritual things, spiritual practice, whether it's meditation or yoga or praying or tarot or witchcraft or whatever it is. Whoever told you you can't do these things, or whatever experience told you that this kind of spiritual health, spiritual exploration is wrong or bad or could harm you. Take out those swords, those thoughts, and look at them and see, was this just a person that caused this? Like, was it just one person that caused this? Was it a system of abuse? Was it one religion? Was it me? Was it someone else? Like, really analyze what turned you off to spirituality, and then begin to build back in your heart what you want from spirituality. Discover what you think is valuable in practice, in religious or spiritual practice. What is valuable about that. Not what you taught, what people taught you was valuable, not the like teaching of giving to the poor, like what is actually valuable in it, not the obligations. Don't look at the obligations, look at what you find important and see if those things are worth exploring. And really, you're going to be able to overcome this with the communication and transformation. Like communication, talk to people about it. Ask people about their religious experience, their spiritual practice. Ask questions. Don't do some research. Like do lots of research. Like see people who are good examples of their personal practice or religion and ask them questions about what it means to them to be this way, or what it means, what it does for them to follow this practice. Getting other people's perspective outside of the one that you perhaps grew up in or were forced to be in or just fell into on accident. Getting other people's perspective on the thing is really important. It helps you get a multi-layered view of the thing instead of a two-dimensional one. And then what this card says, transformation, commit to acting on new ideas and longings, take a leap of faith and begin again. There's no better way to say it. That's how you overcome this spiritual block. It's a leap of faith. That's kind of what tarot cards were for me. I was like, that's pretty and I connect with this and I'm gonna learn about it. God damn it. Even though it was taught to me that this was very dangerous for my everlasting soul to do this. I have found it very beneficial to my everlasting soul. So, all right, let's do your last thing now. This is the where to pull the strength or help from to assist you in overcoming this. So where are we getting our strength and assistance from? We have this is the 7 of Swords, as well as 37 leadership. All right, I'm going to read you this card. 37 leadership. You are no longer the supporting cast. You are the leading man or woman. Take the initiative and lead the way for others to follow. You will be judged by the company you keep and those you admire. Yeah. So, what I'm seeing here is where will you get the strength? You will get the strength, one, from people who you admire. Ask the people who you admire around you that have some sort of religious practice that you're still friends with, even though you've had this rift with your spirituality. Ask them. Talk to them. Find strength in them. Because I think you will find that the people who are important in your life, who have a spiritual practice, they will answer whatever question you have, and they will be so loving and kind about how to recognize and understand that the hurt is real, that the trauma is real, but that there's also other parts to this thing that you never experienced. I think also this card, the 7 of Swords, it talks about, oh my. Well, that happened yeah. Okay, so this card talks about betrayal and sneakiness and deceptiveness. Now, as a place to find strength in, I think it's trying to say that you will find strength in recognizing that not everyone is to be trusted, that not everyone is worth listening to and taking advice from. Not everyone is genuine in their beliefs and practice. I have experienced this a couple of times, and I've found that whenever this did happen, whenever I was getting advice from somebody who ended up not being trustworthy, I found that the advice that they had given me, which didn't resonate with me, it was justified that it did not resonate with me. Like it was revealed later that like they were not true in their beliefs or in their practice. So what they said about that belief and practice also did not ring true. So I think you will find strength in knowing that there are fakes. Like knowing that there are people you can't trust is validating in a way. If you're somebody who has experienced trauma, it's validating listening to other people's experiences of the same kind of trauma, because then you feel that you're not alone. You feel like, okay, it wasn't just me. This is a real thing that really happens. So understanding that like this trauma, whatever you experienced trauma-wise that made you turn off to religion or spiritual practice or your own spiritual gifts, it's a shared experience. I think that knowledge will bring you strength and begin to build your confidence in yourself, because you're somebody who could see through this bullshit originally. Like maybe you were the kid that questioned all of the rules, and later you found out the rules were absolutely garbage. They were just made up by a bunch of people at a desk. And you're like, well, what gives them the right to make those decisions for me? So I think you're going to find strength in your own abilities to sniff out bullshit, to understand what is true and what is false, and what deserves your attention and what definitely doesn't deserve your attention. Yes. So you will find strength in the people around you who have experience, who can be trusted, and you will find strength in listening to stories of other people who have experienced trauma like this, to understand that your experience was valid and your reaction was valid. And the healing process is a long one that might take you a minute to invest in, and that's okay. Okay? So, the last thing I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to shuffle my Kuan Yin Oracle deck. We're going to get one last message from her about this journey you guys are on, because I think after some shadow light work, we need some super positivity. So, Kuan Yin, could you give us one card of advice for my pile number 4s about their journey to reawaken their spiritual life, their spiritual practice? We get one card for my group number 4s, please. One card for my group number 4s. We want this card right here, she says. Group number 4's your card is Sweeping Sister Willow. Sweeping Sister Willow. And the card says, Sweeping Sister Willow. Here is healing that brings with it forgiveness and the release of old pain. As Sweeping Sister Willow gracefully sweeps any sadness and pain from your heart and soul, your time for greater inner freedom is dawning, and the cleansing of sadness and healing of forgiveness create the pathway to that greater freedom now. You deserve this freedom, and you are swiftly becoming ready to claim it. Aww. That's such a sweet message for you guys. Well, thank you, pile number 4, for listening to this reading. I hope it helped. I hope you got some insight into your situation. And would you please like, comment, and subscribe? That really helps me out. And I hope you guys have a blessed everything. Thank you so much for watching pile number 4's. This was Pan. Bye, guys.